But let's make this exercise now together of talking about the passions.
I went into the dictionary and looked for passion, and it said it's an intense feeling that's capable of dominating the will and disturbing the reason, such as intense love, hatred, jealousy, or anger. That's what passion is. It affects the head. It's not rational. My passion is cars. Yes, when I was a child, we lived, my family lived in a farm. The cars were not that common there. My father had a car, but they were not that common. And then we moved to Buenos Aires. And when we moved to Buenos Aires, it was very close to the car racing circuit, the Autódromo
Of Buenos
Juan
Aires.
Oscar Galvez in Buenos Aires. And it was 1973. I was 9 years old when we moved there. And it was the Formula One races 5 blocks away from my house. So for fun, we used to go and get into the circuit under the wires and look at the cars and look at the racer. It was the time of Mario Andretti, Emerson Fittipaldi, Jackie Hicks. Yes.
So the
James
F1 used to run there in Buenos Aires, in the Autódromo of Buenos Aires.
In Buenos Aires, yes.
Because it's not running anymore.
No. For a few years it went back and in and out. But Argentina had a good race car driver called Carlos Reutemann or Reutemann, as it was called here in Europe. And yeah, he was very good. He never became a champion. He came second or third a few times in the championship. So for me, I think that was the opposite to what I had lived in the farm with not much motor cars to very fast racing, glamour, and beautiful cars. For me, it was incredible. So I think there's where we didn't have much money when I was growing up. So our fun with my brothers was going to the car circuit, the race car circuit, to see the cars. And there was a big lake in the middle of the circuit, and we used to go into the lake as our summer swimming pool, a refreshing swimming pool. So yes, I think that's where it came.
That is the first approach that you have with cars, with racing cars.
In this town where I was born,
you were born in Mercedes. Which is 100 kilometers from Buenos Aires, more or less.
Yes, it's 100 kilometers west of Buenos Aires. And at that time, the national top category of car racing used to race in roads, in dirt roads, and in paved national roads and dirt roads. And it was once or twice a year that would happen, and my father used to take us to see the cars go by, but I was very little and I have it in my head, but
that would be like a rally, kind of a rally or something. What I mean, compared
that
to
was Turismo it was called the Turismo Carretera.
Okay.
And that was the origin of the Turismo Carretera in national roads and in dirt roads. Then it became in closed circuits because there were a few accidents but with deaths, so they had to stop it. And since the Turismo Carretera started in 1937, that's the oldest still existing competition in the world.
This is what Fangio used to run before, Galvez and Fangio.
Galvez, Cupeiro, and all of those. Yes, Fangio used to race in Turismo Carretera.
Fangio, we say that he was 5 times world champion of F1 champion. Yeah.
The most championships is now, well, it was Michael Schumacher, who's 7 times world champion, and now is Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
So yes, but he held the record for 40 years, and he was the only one to win the championships with different car makes. So it's now you see Schumacher. 2. One was the Benetton, and then it was a Ferrari, and kept on going with the Ferrari. And Lewis Hamilton with the McLaren, because the contracts were different. Drivers were able to change car makes or teams, car teams, very easily every year. Wow. Now the contracts are for 10 years, you stay with this car. So it was a different structure back then.
And did you ever thought about becoming
a race car driver? You need to have a little money, a little cushion that you can spend on that. I started working when I was 13 years old, so in my family there wasn't that much of a cushion for anything but eat and put a roof over our heads. But I got the opportunity when I moved to work with a now good friend of mine and a mentor for many years to the States, and he started racing cars, and he had this extra car that he used to do the racing school that after he graduated I started using on a local track there. It was the weekends. It was a Volkswagen Rabbit, very small little car, very great fun to drive. So yes, I did my share of that. Then I participated in some races of vintage cars, because this person that I went to work for, he loved old cars, and and from him I learned the passion for old cars, beautiful designs, because for me it was always the new car that was the nice thing to see, until I started seeing cars from the 50s and the 60s that I fell in love with, XKEs or old Mark IV Jags. The beautiful lines. I was extremely lucky to be part of races, of vintage races in Mexico and in the States for many years. So I thank Alberto for opening the windows for me to
make your dream true.
Enter that world. Yes. I think that passion for cars, it comes more from the Italians that went to Argentina. The Fiat, the Ferrari, the Alfa Romeo, la Lancia, and all of those cars that, the nostalgia that they had was on the cars that they left behind. If you see someone, anybody driving slower than you, he's an idiot. And if anyone is faster than you, he's a maniac. So there are things like that. Colin McRae used to say, straight roads are for fast cars, and turns or curves are for fast drivers. And it's something that's in the Argentinian now, after the mixture with the Italians. It's having the car, having a fast car. It's better, they say, it's better to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. The rules of the road in Argentina, it's like driving in Italy as well. In Italy, it's complicated. It's not for everyone. It's mad. So I think it comes from there, this whole passion for cars and speed. So they say that in Argentina, good cars get you from point A to point B. Great cars, they get you in trouble. So, if you have of course.